The Toronto Maple Leafs have stood as a premier, competitive team for the majority of the past 10 years. Ever since Austin Matthews was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2016, they've clinched a playoff spot each year, holding the longest ongoing playoff streak in the league. Although this achievement is notably impressive, not to mention often overlooked and undervalued, maintaining a consistent presence in the playoffs does come with a significant downside: fewer opportunities for high draft picks. Moreover, when you're a top-tier team consistently striving for victory, it's customary to trade away numerous draft picks. While such decisions draw criticism, this perspective is uninformed. Trading picks to secure immediate success is the prudent choice for any competitive team. Kyle Dubas attains legacy as the most accomplished Toronto Maple Leafs GM. Nonetheless, considering the Leafs haven't enjoyed top-tier picks, the farm system left behind by Kyle Dubas is commendable. It might or might not yield future star players, but presently, it remains astonishingly underrated. Regarding the team's actual performance, they haven't secured any championships over the past 7 years. Yet, it's worth highlighting that these 7 years have been outstanding, ranking among the franchise's finest historical stretches. While winning would have been exhilarating, the criticism aimed at the Leafs, and particularly Kyle Dubas during this span, has been excessively fierce and detached from reality. It essentially mirrors political-style attacks, driven by individuals who've firmly cemented their opinions and display little interest in gaining new insights. Individuals who constantly take to the internet to voice discontent fail to grasp that goaltenders introduce a level of unpredictability to NHL outcomes that other sports simply lack. Furthermore, the NHL playoff format, from seeding to relatively brief series, is designed to yield unexpected results. In the NHL, the most superior teams don't always emerge victorious. Although this reality can be frustrating to observe, fans of the Toronto Maple Leafs should remember that despite a 4-year salary cap freeze due to COVID occurring immediately after the team signed for superstar players with the expectation that a new TV deal, gambling, and expansion would propel the cap, the Leafs maintained their elite status over these 4 years. Regular season achievements should carry more weight than they do. After all, they entail less randomness, and the best teams genuinely are the best, unlike the Cup final, which often features at least one surprising underdog. Nonetheless, regardless of one's stance on regular season achievements, playoff success remains the standard of measurement. While not entirely rational, that's the way it goes. I can't honestly say a President's Trophy would greatly excite me. Still, I believe we ought to acknowledge that under Kyle Dubas, the Leafs evolved into an annual playoff contender, a remarkable feat given that, prior to 2017, they had only made the playoffs once since the 2004-2005 lockout, and consistently contended each year. Dubas was the acting GM before the Leafs hired Lou Lamoriello, and he crafted this team. Except for Morgan Rielly, whom he re-signed, and William Nylander, whom he re-signed and resisted trading, this is entirely Dubas' team, unequivocally. He played a role in retaining or acquiring every player on the roster before this summer. If they triumph next year, his influence will exceed that of anyone else. The Kyle Dubas era constitutes an unequivocal triumph. You can't fault him for the cap freeze, nor can you hold him accountable for the following events: Nazem Kadri's suspension during 2 Game 7s. Columbus establishing an NHL playoff save percentage record. Tavares' injury against Montreal. Montreal becoming the first team in NHL history to surrender multi-goal leads in consecutive games, and yet win both in overtime. Jack Campbell conceding a fluke goal from 80 feet, after the Leafs outshot MTL 12-0 in OT. Referees requiring the Leafs to defeat Tampa 5 times to progress in 2022. Sergei Bobrovsky transforming into Patrick Roy. Going 0-11 in elimination games, an outcome so statistically improbable it almost defies possibility. True, the Toronto Maple Leafs likely should have reaped better outcomes under his tenure. Nevertheless, a fair evaluation reveals they encountered shockingly, ludicrously, inexplicably bad luck for several successive years.